I'm sitting in my home, in my own little studio, which is called the Box of Frogs. Don't ask me why, but it sounded funny. Anyway, I was sitting there for hours, and you know, like you do, you wait for something to come through, doodling away, and then I got the actual riff for Living the Dream, and that started sounding really powerful. And I threw up a sort of drum loop thing and started playing with it. I thought, oh yeah, this is really cool, and got most of that written. And then you know, obviously got loads of other ideas, and then I go down to Phil's house in Broadstairs in another part of England, and he's got his own studio, all his keyboards set up. So I played him that, and immediately heard it, he jumps on that, and we started developing it very, very quickly. You know,
most, in fact, all of the albums that we've done together, myself and Mick for Heep, we obviously get together to start compiling ideas for the direction we're going to go in, and the kind of thing we're going to look at. Mick and his riff ideas and his song ideas, me with my songs and my song ideas, and we just pour everything into like a melting pot.
And I always had Living in the Dream as a title because I thought that's just perfect, because that's how people perceive us, living the dream that they'd love to be doing themselves, you know, and the fact that they, you know, with their support, we are living that dream. So it kind of all set in really nicely. Yeah.
Mainly Mick and Phil will bring in a batch of ideas, and we'll all just go through them, have a listen. There's not that much preparation. People think we have weeks and weeks, but normally we try to make it quite spontaneous as well.
It could be anything that just sparks off an idea, and then we'll just go in and bash it out and work on arrangement ideas, and that doesn't quite go there, but if we put this chord sequence here, and so it develops into what we are, because it's very important that the Heep sound comes across as the people that are in Heep. Otherwise you wouldn't call it Uriah Heep, you call it Phil Lanzer's band or Mick Box's band. It's a special thing that happens. You have to have the core idea and then allow people to then embellish it and turn it into what we do live.
Well, we have got quite a good relationship with Chapel Studios. We've gone there, I think, for 2 different albums in the past. So we know the room. It's a great live room. It is in the middle of nowhere. Even the pub closed down.
So you're really stuck in there, you know, and it's in the countryside, so you've got that sort of ambience going on all the time. You know, it's quite peaceful, quite relaxed.
There's no distractions. You can't lose. There's a church down the road if you want to go and speak to the big guy, but then that's it. You're locked in, and it's a great atmosphere. Everyone's in the same place at once. There's no distractions. You know, bands or musicians are easily distracted. I don't know why.
The live room is superb for drums. It really is, you know. It's just the overall concept of a great studio that makes you feel as comfortable as possible, as relaxed as possible, with no distractions, to produce fantastic music. That's the name of the game.
It is basically an old church chapel. So it's got great acoustics. We just set up all live, and it just went really well.
It was quite a lot of fun afterwards, because then, you know, the corks are pulled and the beers going down the neck like a good one, and you know, and we had a pool table there, so every night there was a pool competition, and it was all good fun. Yeah, it was so relaxed. It was lovely. Just the perfect recording situation.
Working with Jay Rustin for the first time. A great experience from the very first time we walked into the room together. Not only because he's a Canadian like myself, so the humor was there already, but there's a respect from him that I think comes with knowing Heep's history and that. And he brought a freshness to the band that we were really looking for the last couple of years.
Working with Jay was fantastic. I think he's so in tune with rock in general and music. He's such a music lover, and it was just great. He came in, we played him the songs. He just loved the songs. He was like, great, let's try this, let's try. We made a few changes. He just got the best out of the band in all of us.
We had no idea what to expect. Obviously we knew of his work through, you know, the Wiry Dogs and all these other bands. He worked with the Black Star Riders Europe, whether it be mixing, whether it be recording, whatever, you know. And we really liked his work. And but when he came along, you know, we didn't know quite what to expect, but it was just perfect. He came in. He's not a producer that overtakes things, but he just lets things happen naturally, and that's the best way with Uriah Heep, to be honest, because we are 5 strong personalities, and he just brought the best out of everyone. And I mean, in particular with guitar sounds, and I've never had such a great guitar sound in my life. You know, he just understands it all. You know, and he's hands-on as well. You know, a lot of producers, you know, get the boy to go and do this, get the boy to, but Jay gets in there and stands in there, puts the mics up, come on, blast it, bang, 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 yeah, that's it, you know. Marvellous, marvellous. He's hands-on, he's everything. And he's everything I would like in a producer. So if you're going to ask this question, are we ever going to work with Jay again? I'd do it in a heartbeat, mate. Happy days.
That sounds amazing, what you just played.
Great personality, great feel for the songs that we've written and recorded and we're playing, and what can I say, he's brought a new angle to what Uriah Heep is all about and wants to be about. I've got nothing but praise, because what I'm hearing back on all the tracks so far is really interesting, and I can't wait to get it into the package where people can actually hear it.
Started basically where we
stopped, wasn't it?
basically from there, because it's hi-hat, there's bass. Start there, right?
Yeah.
No, I only did that to keep me in time.
Oh, it sounds good though. I love that stuff,
like
because it's what you would do live. You know?
I can play it, yeah.
You guys all right with that? And just like
Yeah, no problem. Just we'll do it right from the furthest all the way we are.
yeah, because you're coming in right here. Sorry, 3, 4, push.
He was so easy to work with, and I can't tell you how important that is as an artist, to feel comfortable working with someone, to draw out the best of your abilities and the musicalities, to make sure that the album is exactly what the fans want to hear and what you're excited about, pushing the rewind button. You know, he had a lot of respect for us, and so therefore he warranted all the respect from us to him, and the results were just flying out.
He was up every day, working late, never complaining. He likes to work one-on-one with people, and a very, very different way that we record. Even though we record very old style, all in one room, everybody, you know, the red light goes on and everybody plays at the same time, so there's little bits of spillage and everything, and you get a much more warmer sound. But the way that he was working, it was we getting the backing track in the morning, the vocal in the afternoon, and the solos at the night. So rather than spreading it over like a month or 2 months of getting parts done, every day was a completed song, which we've never done before. I wasn't sure how taxing it was going to be on my voice, because normally I do a guide vocal and then I say, I'll see you in a couple weeks. But his way of working was, no, every day we're going to do a song. So you'll do the lead vocals, then we'll have a little break, then we'll do all the harmonies, and then we'll do all the compiling, and by about 10 o'clock at night he'd say, come and have a listen, and it was the complete song done, ready for final mix. So the relationship grew very close very quickly, and I think that's the reason why we got, what, 10 songs recorded and finished in 19 days. Because I put that to any band out there, to record an album that quick that sounds as strong as Living the Dream.
I mean, it was a privilege to work with him. The album is sounding immense, the mixes are sounding immense, and we just can't wait for the time when the album's out, so that we get the responses which we're very eager to hear. And also, I hope that Jay's very proud of his contribution.
Into my domain. This is the first time that I'm using an AKG C12. Now, these microphones came out in 1953. They manufactured them for 10 years. They put up a production of about 2,500, most of them which are still kicking around, because they're an amazing double diaphragm microphone. For this album, Jay Rustin said, try this one out. And so far, it's absolutely amazing.
Because everything's on the quarter note, isn't it? One and the two and the three and the four and the two. Okay guys, gonna check my gear. Start with, it's the British Drum Company Fantastic Legend drum kit. If you get a little close up of that, you'll see the badge. You've got to watch out for these guys. The drums are the best drums I've played in 25 years. I can't tell you how fantastic they are. Superb sound. Then I've got pasty cymbals. I play lovely pasty cymbals. The 900 series of the Crashes. A sort of prototype signature ride that I helped them develop as far as the ride's concerned. So a nice big beefy ride on it. A Nova China, because it's got more high frequencies and sonically works better with the kit, as well as the Paisley 2002 one here, China. A little stack thing here for effects. And the hi-hats I'm using actually to rock out the 15-inch Alpha series on the hi-hats, because they seem to just cut a little bit better. Fantastic gong drum to go with the BDC, by the way. On these skins I'm using Code, which are a new British company, phenomenal drum skins, I absolutely love them. And with this retro look, it's called the Law series. A special Sterling TRS one on the snare drum, which gives me far more durability and a great sound as well. On the bass drums, it's the Blast, which is their fantastic bass drum skin, where it has a little bit of a muffling ring just to control the sound a bit and gives you a nice big fat punchy sound. Russell Gilbert signature animal drumsticks from Pelwood in Czech Republic, fantastic company, very durable, very consistent. I need them for when I'm hitting hard and having consistency throughout my drumsticks for feel purposes and weight purposes. And the great Portland Davis BC2 kick bullet, which is fantastic. Wire it all up, so I've got the bass drums, I've got my toms and everything going through it, so that I can actually feel everything every time I hit. Great sensitivity, fantastic product. That goes into my little monitor system, which is down here, where I have my ACS's in-ear monitoring, which I can't do without. It saves my ears and I get the same sort of sound at every sort of gig, so it makes things very consistent for me. And to finish off, I've got the Pearl pedals down there, which are absolutely fantastic, very smooth, nice feel on my feet. And that's about it. That's all my endorsees. I thank them very much, and I've got a fantastic setup that just makes me play the best I can.
Well, the chance of actually writing some lyrics on this album is something that I don't really usually get involved with, because Mick and Phil, as a songwriting team, usually come in with quite finished pieces of music. If anything, I usually have my 2 cents worth in rearrangements or something like that. That's normally where I can hear things rather than pen things. But with this album, I had a chance to rewrite some lyrics, because normally if I go to them and say, can we work on something here, can we work on something there, maybe a little change something or something, you know, along a different line, you need time to be able to put your writer's head back on and pen new lyrics.
Now Phil and I had got that already written, but once we took it into pre-production, it took a different direction. Became a little bit more rockier. We had the title Goodbye to Innocence, because that was a great title, and Bernie wasn't comfortable with some of the lyrics that we'd written, so we said, well, fine, please go away and write them.
If you've got something you really want to put in, then do it, by all means. Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason why not to. I'd rather that would be the situation than forcing something. A square peg in a round hole doesn't work. You've got to, and that's how that came about, and it turned out great.
And he picked up on the storyline that we'd already established, and it sounded really good. So yeah, I mean, the more we can do that, the better, because we'd like everyone to be more involved in the writing process, but it's not always possible, because if you don't bring anything to the table, it don't get used.
Just lock myself away for an afternoon, and creative juices, which don't usually flow that well, just came flooding out, and within like 3 hours came the lyric for Goodbye to Innocence.
Well, Grace by Heaven, which I'm lucky enough, it's going to be on the album. It's turned out great. It kind of all started, I had the riff and the music all down. I had some melody ideas, but I was a bit, and some lyrics, but I wasn't really happy with them.
From what I understand, he wanted to combine a sleeper energy and riff, the double bass drums and everything else, and between two worlds. He wanted to combine that sort of energy in one song, and I think he did it perfectly, you know. And he brought the song along, and we heard it for the first time. We said, yeah, that's dynamite, you know.
And it's a real honour for me. I'm not only playing in Uriah Heep, which is like a dream, living the dream. I also got to write a song with one of my favourite singers and writers, Jess Coxoter.
We're very pleased that he brought something along, and we're very open like that. Like I say, you know, the table's empty, we just put the best things on and take the best things off.
When I was recording my solo album, my debut album, one of the singers, Andy, was doing a take. And I had my trusty iPad with me, of course. And I was taking pictures, blah, blah, blah. And it was a break when he'd stopped singing, so I thought I'd go into the singing area, the booth, and take a quick shot of him. So I went in with my iPad, opened the door, and I went, click, and he saw me just in that second and said, "Oh, take away my soul, will you?"
And then we thought, well, how can we use this in the right way? So we thought of a theme that we'd be reading in the newspaper, and I had been reading in the newspaper about you know, all these people that they have relationships, and then one of the relationships they put a camera in the bedroom, and although it's a lot of fun at the time, but when they split up, somebody puts it on Facebook, you know, stuff that this person doesn't want to see and vice versa. We felt that was a good sort of hook into the Take Away My Soul, and because by obviously putting this up on Facebook, these things up, you do take away someone's soul. And so it kind of became the theme of it, and we sort of wrote it in a way where it can be quite ambiguous. But that was the storyline behind it in the end, yeah.
You did 2 bars, isn't it, before the verse? Yes, 2 bars. 2 bars. So we're going to go into the whole 2 bars. 2, 3, 4. I think that's what it is, mate. If not, it'll be 1 bar.
One of the tracks, Water's Flowing. They could call it a ballad, I suppose. Mick had an acoustic figure.
My wife Sheila, her sister has a house in France, and I'm one of these guys. I leave a guitar in every part of the world, so that I don't have to take it with me to the airport. And I can go, yeah, can I have my guitar out? Thank you. So I had one in France in a place called Serre in their house, and I was just sitting there one day, and I wrote most of those chords.
And I heard that and thought, that's got something, okay. And it was something familiar in my head that kept going round. And I found something that would fit with the whole part that he was playing. So that's how that one came about. And then I played along with the chords that he was using on the guitar, worked out a figure for the melody. And then I had an idea about the lyric.
Phil loved it and we jumped straight on it again, you know, because we've got that camaraderie when it comes to songwriting and ideas, and it developed very quickly, and what he started putting to it was fantastic, and then we were going back and forth.
I can't be playing drums on the beginning of this. It's got to be a drum loop. It's got to have a heartbeat that I play on a gong drum with my finger, which is what I did on Wake the Sleeper song that I can't remember the name of. I'm a sucker for those kind of things because it just keeps the pulse of something going without being intrusive and allows the song to breathe.
So half the battle is, it's not only playing, you have to get along. So we do get along really well. There's a lot of laughing, lots of jokes at each other's expense, but that's, you know, all part of it.
I can't imagine it being any different, to be honest. I've been around in this band for 32 years now, guys. So, what can I say? This is what we enjoy, it's what we do.
It's your second family, isn't it? You're away from your family, you're spending so much time with the guys in the band. The most important thing is you've got to get on. Yeah, I've known this, when I used to teach at some of the music schools, I used to say about, well, like, how do I get on tour with that band? What do I do then? Why did they pick them? And why? Listen, if you're an arsehole, you're not going to go on tour. Who wants to go on tour with someone that's a pain in the backside? It's not going to work. So that's why you use your mates. That's why personalities work. And in this band, the personalities work. We like a lot of the good things together. We get on well musically. We like to have a laugh. That's very important because it's hard work touring. Believe it or not, people, it's hard work. You've got to get on. You've got to have a laugh.
Anyone who dares to fall asleep in this room is asking for trouble.
This couch has been used for slumbering at times.
I'll be the first to slumber. We want musicians do like a comfy seat from time to time. And this is a comfy seat.
In between takes, yeah, you gotta sit down, have a cup of tea.
Uriah Heep work on a blend of personalities together and friendship, rather than a lot of other bands that I could mention that work on an angst and it's a friction rather than a friendship. Mick from the 70s, he's always said to me, I couldn't ever have a guy in the band that I didn't like or didn't get along with, because we spend more time with each other than we do with our families. A lot more time. So you've got to get on like a bunch of brothers. And we have our moments, like any dysfunctional family does, but for the most part, we're friends first, musicians second. So yeah, when it's a day off, the band go out for dinner. If we're at a hotel, the band go down for breakfast. The band, on a day off, will go with the crew, and all 11 or 12 of us will go out mob-handed.
Years and years ago, when I was managing the band, even way back then, and I said I'd never work with anyone again that I didn't like, couldn't hug, couldn't smile at on stage, and couldn't go and have a beer with or dinner. You know, it just has to be. I don't like that friction. Friction doesn't work for me. All it does is bring in bad energy, and I just want positive energy at all times. There are times when it doesn't work, of course, and we become quite dysfunctional, but then that's a family. Families can become dysfunctional, but the bottom line is we'll come back in again and we'll be whole again at the end of it, you know, so that's basically it.